Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Simon. We do philosophy through pop culture, and I'm so excited to cover this episode. This is episode 6 of Queer Ultimatum, and this is the changeover. So this means they spent 3 weeks with their trial wife, and now they're switching over to go back to their original partners to spend 3 weeks with them. Let's see what happens.
Haley comes up to me, and she tells me that there's proof that you and Dana are f***ing. So I'm asking you, have you guys...
I'm saying no.
So where is that coming from? Because I am so f***ing triggered.
I don't talk to Haley. I don't know anything I don't know. And how would she know anything about any proof of what's going on in my apartment?
I don't know what's happening, but now I'm confused because according to the edit, they definitely had sex. And yeah, where are the rumors coming from? So basically, Marie is confronting Mel, and Mel is denying cheating or having sex with Dana. But why would you lie if you know you're on camera and we're going to see this later? But then why does anybody lie? Especially when they're on camera, which we've seen happen before. This is devastating. Like, I know like it's weird because it's like a form of entertainment for us, but we're really watching a really devastating end, or maybe not end, to a relationship. Just what Marie is so triggered. She's being very upfront with her feelings. I think Mel is lying to her, right? Like I'm starting to gaslight myself into, that's not really how you use the word gaslight, not to be so pedantic, but like I'm starting to trick myself into thinking, wait, did they not sleep together? But no, they slept together. So now it's like, why are you lying? Oh, let's see. But my heart goes out to Marie because this is so devastating.
This is gonna soil everything because I don't know if I believe any of this. I don't know what I believe.
We do have a connection.
Okay. What does that mean?
Dana and I have kissed, and I was going to tell you when I was with you. And that's the extent of it.
She's saying, Mel is saying all they did was kiss. Human beings really are just like, what can we learn from this? Regardless of gender, you could still be a liar. So this is why we say like your actions aren't based off your gender. Your actions are reinforced by your culture, your environment, the way you were raised, your biological experience, your relationship with values. If we deconstruct gender and we remember that we are more than these bodies, we are more than these labels, we realize that we are, at the end of the day, I think our character, our action to some extent, though I really do believe philosophically, because we do philosophy through pop culture, that you are not exactly your thoughts or your actions. I think you're more than that, but I think you're all of the things combined. So Mel didn't lie because she's a woman, or Mel didn't lie because they're gay, or Mel didn't lie because they're what. Mel lied because her relationship with truth is scary, probably trauma, maybe protecting herself. Maybe she feels like I have to lie to Marie because Marie's so upset. How could I upset her more? But it's a protective mechanism. So you can lie to be deceptive, and you can lie, which is still a deception, but you can lie to protect, and both are bad in this situation, obviously. In some philosophical, I know I hear some edgy boy in Reddit go like, would you lie though if a Hitler came to your door looking for Jews? Well, obviously we would lie to save people's lives against a mass murdering group of people, but that's not the situation. This is an intimate relationship that requires trust as a foundation to be healthy, and it's lacking that foundation. So there's no situation in which lying for protection makes any sense, or lying for deception makes any sense. And then because you lied to protect, it still came at the expense of Marie, so it's deception.
If you're telling me and you're looking me in the eye, I will back you until the end of time, but do not make me look like a fool.
Uh-oh.
Don't.
I hear you.
Ooh, that's the worst. You never want your partner to ever feel foolish for picking you, choosing you, being with you, loving you. You always want to give your partner every reason to feel reassured that they picked the right person, because you are the right person, not because you're pretending to be. And Mel is deceiving Marie, and she's about to make a fool out of her.
Do not make me look like an idiot, please.
This is a low compatibility partnership. In my mind, Mel and Marie should never talk again. Marie not only deserves better and should be with somebody better, but she is not attacking her partner. She doesn't even distrust her partner. She asked her partner for the truth, and she was denied the truth. Marie, in good faith, came to her partner and said, please, I want to believe you didn't do this, so I'm asking you, did you do this? She actually didn't blow up on her. She didn't berate her. She didn't attack her. She did the right thing by asking her, please, I'm devastated. Did you cheat on me? Did you sleep with somebody else? And her partner looked her right in the eye and lied. Damn.
It was a lot of narrative spinning. She admitted you two had a conversation, and she was like, I just like don't recognize the person that I see in front of me.
How am I supposed to know when it's Dana's time of need when she's literally calling me saying she doesn't want to marry me, and like she can't believe that I did this to her?
Wait, she doesn't want to marry me. I can't believe you did this to her. Okay, we're getting a little bit more context for the conversation that happened over the phone. That was a little blurry for me. Though some of you did try to clarify in the comments what I was missing. So that was helpful. But I'm glad that they're having this conversation because now I'm so curious. And what's crazier is like, this is the last night they're together and then they're going to switch. So I hope the next 3 weeks are okay. I hope there's no like real issues. I mean, obviously I assume everyone's going to break up after the series.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to somebody tell me the way that I'm seeing it is not really what's happening. You're not going to tell me that. Nobody's going to tell me that.
It's always the person that is mistreating the other one that speaks the loudest. I'm just so upset because I'm seeing the person in front of me regress.
I'm not doing that.
But I was like, you're not gonna say to my wife.
Period.
Period.
Tell her.
But marriage is not a milestone anymore. It's a sense of security. And like, if my partner can't give that to me, I don't think you can be my partner.
Ooh. She said marriage isn't a milestone anymore. And I think that's so important is that marriage should not be a part of our goal list, a milestone. Oh, you reached a certain age, you should be married by now. Kids and marriage, we need to wipe that off, the expectation. Because what you're doing is you're forgetting that that marriage requires the consent of another person. That baby means you're bringing a baby into the universe to pay taxes and deal with this administration. So can we please take these things a little bit more seriously than saying they're like things to check off a list, you know?
The world could use more of you. That's for damn sure.
She's a poet.
I don't even know it.
Who the f does this bitch Haley think she is? I swear to God, give me her phone number right now. Let's go to her room. Let's hear it. Where's the receipt, babe? Were they spying on us? They hacked the cameras? What do they think that they found?
Wait, I didn't understand that conversation. So Dana and Mel are acting like they didn't have sex. They're saying, let's go to Haley's room. Let's confront her. Where are the receipts? Where's the proof? What do they hack the cameras? What do they think they know? Which is confusing to me because according to the Netflix edit, I got the impression that the only two couples who have had sex were Dana and Mel first, then Haley and Megan. So now I'm like a little more confused. Are they so good at deception that they're deceiving each other when they're talking? Did they do something more than kiss, but they're acting like it's not sex? I'm just so confused now. I don't know why I was going into this episode thinking like, oh, tomorrow's the day, but no, we're still 5 days away.
Hi, Pilar.
Oh, it's Kyle's parents. How cute.
So with my friends, I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade, and they all called their parents as we were changing locations. So I was like, I guess I'll call my mom. And she was like, why are you telling me? Which is funny because Pilar was talking about sometimes I just like get up and leave and don't say where I'm going. I'm like, because no one cares.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need to know where you're going, but I'm just like, where are you going?
Oh, that's so interesting. So they're talking about the way Kyle was raised differently. Kyle wasn't quite trained to inform the people around them that, oh, where you're going, where are you going? Like I definitely grew up in a house where like if people got up, sometimes we'd be like, hey, where are you going? Not literally, but sometimes. And I guess like I do, my partner and I are like, wait, where are you going? Are you getting up? Where are we going? It's like versus a family that never asks. Or in this case, I like the example Kyle used. All the other girls were telling their families that they were moving to a different location or something. So she called the mom and the mom was like, why are you telling me this? Just so culturally so interesting. Even now as an adult, as a grown up, I will tell family I'm on vacation. Oh, I just landed. Oh, I'm here in this location. It's not even oversharing or undersharing. It's just like allowing people to be in the loop, I think. Yeah. I guess it's all about why you do it, I suppose.
I know she just leaves.
You need to change that.
I'm going to. See, with Bridget and I, our like inability to like have real conflict because we're, I think, both so afraid of hurting the other person that we will diffuse any situation, but maybe in a way that like doesn't fix things.
Ooh, avoiding conflict in a way that doesn't actually fix anything, which is maybe I just made a podcast about fighting in your relationships. Some couples are like, you have to fight. I think we have to solutions to the table when there's conflict. So if there's conflict, then we bring a solution, not an escalation. But if you de-escalate, but without resolving, then you're just coping and running away from the problem. If you don't solve the problem, it will show up again.
Mel is incredibly adamant that she didn't have any intercourse with Dana. I do believe that Mel and Dana both considered the persons that they came here with and didn't further that relationship.
Fingers crossed, Murray believes Mel. I hope it's true, but I don't know. And honestly, if Haley has bad intel from people, I'm curious where they got that intel.
I've told Dana I have feelings for her, more than friend feelings. I need Dana to come to terms with what she's feeling because I think that she really could see a future with me, and I know that it scares her, but I need answers.
I just want my life a lot. More than anyone I probably ever want in my life. I want you. What does that mean for us? I don't know.
Well, so what? Does Mel want to break up with Marie and that's why Mel's not being transparent? Mel is basically saying, I want Dayna over Marie. She's saying, I like you more than friends and I want to be with you. But Dayna is hesitating. Messy, messy, messy.
Because at first it was, let's get to know this person, right? And then it's okay, now we know each other and we like each other. Then I just question myself with like, what am I feeling? What am I doing? But like, what are we doing?
There is a connection between us. We want to be in each other's lives. Problem is you want answers that I can't really give you because there's so much unknown still. I'm just saying I think the answers that you're asking of me are not something that I can answer without speaking to Megan.
Interesting that Mel wants Dayna to choose her before talking to Megan, which means Mel's basically willing to choose Dayna without Marie knowing it's coming. So right now, if Dayna said yes to Mel, it would blindside Marie and they would leave here together, and neither Mel nor Megan would technically see that coming, though I think Megan would probably see it coming more than Marie would. I really feel for Marie right now.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to say what you feel, and you've done that.
I feel like if I don't tell you what you want to hear right now, you're just gonna like shut down on me more.
Mel's shutting down. She's got that distant look in her eye. She wants to hear Dayna say, I love you, I want to be with you. And because she's not getting that, she's like putting up a wall almost. But interesting that Dayna's not playing into it. I don't know if that makes me think better of Dayna or worse, but Dayna isn't over-promising to Mel.
I want what's real.
Okay. Do you feel like that's
She said, I just want what's real. Yeah.
not what you're getting?
Are you giving me real?
Why do you not feel like I am?
I'm your person and I want to hear about everything that you're feeling and no matter what. But the more that you talk about Megan with me, it just makes me feel like you're not focusing on this.
Ooh, see, Dayna is actually being weirdly more responsible by saying, hey, I came here with someone I gave an ultimatum to, so I need to talk to them first. And Mel is saying, why can't you just throw everything away and be with me? Why can't you just express your love to me? Why can't you just, be in this moment with me? Interesting.
I don't think the breakup part with Megan has really hit me until recently. Like, holy shit.
It's important to me that you're sure of things because here's the thing, like for me and for you both, we both know it's gonna be a fight to stay in each other's lives. It's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
And I need to know that it's worth the fight.
Y'all warned me this season was toxic. Y'all warned me. This is intense. Wow. Can you not see it though? I'm so sorry, but is this not the greatest example I can give you of our toxicity versus healthy? Please tell me this is so obviously toxic. So then why do we do this in our own lives? Because we're unhealed. I couldn't even imagine this conversation happening in a healed situation.
This has been such a positive, amazing, fun experience. I think you do know how happy I am. Part of who I am is now because of you. I would never take that for granted.
Okay, they just had the edit is the edit is the edit. So I don't know exactly what is true, but they basically positively reinforced one another. Mel smiled. And now we're transitioning out of the scene. They're really building us up to something, huh? They're really building us into the next 3 weeks.
This is it.
Fabulous. Oh my
The
gosh.
whole apartment.
Cute. It's Haley's family, dad, sisters. This is cute, cute, cute.
Freaky similar. We agree on every single thing. What we want for our futures, how we want to show up as partners. We really did the work.
Curious because Pilar's been in Haley's life for 10 years, how opinionated her family is. Because if my sibling was dating somebody for 10 years, they would have heard every opinion I had by now. So I am kind of curious. I know every family dynamic is different, but I think my family's we're very talky. Like we communicate. And especially if I was close to my sibling, they'd be asking me, we'd be talking about their relationships. Yeah, that's interesting.
We've always been very honest. Like, even if it's something that we don't want to hear, I wanted to learn how I can do better in life. And she just tells me that very gently and respectfully. I always know it's coming from a good place.
Where do you stand on children?
I know where Haley stands on children.
I'm Lebanese, and just in the culture, everybody's really, really close. So I'm big on family. I feel like it would be really special for me to have a family of my own.
Well, Megan did say that she would carry a child, and that is one of my biggest things about not wanting a kid. Megan has kind of shifted my perspective, and I don't want this to be misconstrued. Not that I think that Pilar wouldn't be an equal partner, but having someone who's also equally excited to have that journey with you.
It's just funny because it's totally not the
not the Haley you know,
not the Haley that I know, but
The big step, Haley.
Her family is really kind of shocked at the change in Haley and the openness with Haley. I think this goes back to on my recent podcast about fighting in a relationship. Halsey says something basically if you wouldn't want to turn into your partner, you probably shouldn't be with them. And I think there's something to say about our environment. Here's the thing. Does Megan want kids because she's Lebanese and because she was raised with that? And is that a good enough reason? Because I think I come from a similar background where I always loved the idea of having grandkids and kids and being a grandma and all of that stuff because that's how I was raised. But then as I got older, I've seen that just because you're raised like that as a kid doesn't mean you get that in your adulthood. To be honest, politics and philosophy has caused a lot of rift in my own family where, you're not as excited to go over to your parents' house if all they're going to talk about is how Trump is great, right? So being a parent doesn't guarantee you that future because you would also have to have people who could accept you. And with Megan, her family won't accept that she's gay. So her family isn't even giving her that. This thing she grew up with, which she loved, only exists in a construct where she has to put herself to the side, which is, coincides with the conversation we've been having about community on stream. Your community only exists as long as everybody is either in agreement or somebody is keeping their mouth shut. So this whole idea that, there used to be community, we don't have community anymore, whatever your word is for gathering, a gathering occurs either at the consequence of people or for the benefit of them, depending on where everyone's value stands.
And you've shown me so much growth and grace and joy and passion and life. What I would want out of a wife, what I would want out of a marriage. Ashley, you got big shoes to fill.
I don't see them ever working out in real life, but I like that they've been really sweet to each other.
What are you hoping to see from AJ? Do you think you can put yourself right back to where you were?
I really can't tell. I don't want to say she feels like a stranger to me, but even though I've already lived with this person, I just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, this 3 weeks have really changed a lot of the girls, and a lot of them feel different than who they were when they came in, which is a good indicator that they were taking it seriously. I love how much growth can occur in such a short span of time. And yet the real growth does happen over long periods of time. But short-term growth is a real phenomenon of realization of oh my God, I'm not the same person I was 3 weeks ago, but now I have to really pursue continuous change.
Let me see. Oh. I don't know who came up with the idea to get tattoos today. I think the fact that they're matching for us was kind of I'll always be in your life, you'll always be in my life.
I am flabbergasted. I am so shook. What? You got matching tattoos? This is certifiable. In my bubble, this is cruel. This is so deeply, devastatingly cruel. What do you mean you're going to be in each other's life forever? What in the toxic? I have nothing wise to say right now. This is the epitome of unwise. This is unwise suffering to a T. This is self-harm. This is self-harm. Ooh, that's what it is. This is self-harm.
Not the best idea, but I'm not really a good idea type of person. Megan, we've talked about getting matching tattoos, so she's not gonna be happy at all, but I don't care.
Oh my God, girls. Girls, you told me this season was toxic, but I was not ready.
That's how we go.
Megan is such a boy. I love her. She's such a boy. She's out here picking Haley's nose and goofing on her. She's so funny. I love a boy. I love a boy who's a girl who's a boy,
Don't want to revert back to old habits.
We both are like this, where if we see our exes and we're like, you're so sweet and innocent, let me not upset you by my feelings.
No, our feelings matter. I'm just worried that I'm going to start to say my feelings.
Interesting. So Bridget's afraid of hurting Kyle's feelings and Ashley's afraid of hurting Marita's feelings. That's so interesting that they're also afraid of hurting each other's feelings. But that's what Kyle was talking about with their family, is they almost avoid confrontation so they don't hurt each other's feelings, but it comes at the expense of the quality of the relationship. Real intimacy is sitting in uncomfortable situations and not escalating to violence, fighting, or abuse or toxicity, but sitting in the uncomfortable to face it, to create solutions together as a team.
And then she's just gonna get upset and I won't even be able to have
That's exactly what Marita does, and we ain't doing it.
No, we can't.
You're gonna go back and put your foot down. It makes me sad that I'm not gonna live with her anymore. We just have it so easy. I love my life with Bridget.
She's saying it's gonna be so, it was so easy with Bridget, but was it easy with Bridget because you were kind of on vacation and it was new and you're in this weird, fun, experimental stage? Or is it actually an indication that you're just with the wrong person, but that doesn't mean the right person is Bridget? Because I think social experiments like this can show you that your life could be different, but it doesn't have to be with the person you're being different with, right? But I think that's something to pay attention to.
Because I do feel in a way I've been living in Marita's shadow.
She feels like she was living in Marita's shadow. I mean, I can see that. I think that's a part of high compatibility, low compatibility is do I feel like I'm on the same level as you, or do I feel like I'm in the background of your life, even though we're a couple?
Meeting you has been one of the most amazing, life-changing, scary, safe, comforting, and meaningful experiences of my entire life.
We were always meant to meet each other, to change each other, to grow with one another. Most importantly, to save each other.
To save each other.
Thank you for saving me from myself.
Boo, toxic language. Toxic, our partners don't save us. We save ourselves. They're just here to cheerlead us on and help us. Our communities don't save us. We have to save ourselves. Because at the end of the day, that relationship is the most powerful one. The toxicity is believing that other people save us, in a real way. They're not saving you. They're doing the right thing by you. But you have to accept the help, accept the love, so you have to save yourself by accepting compassion and love in the first place. If you give it all to your partner and you say, my partner saved me, they're not really learning why you were drowning in the first place.
You made my heart full, and for that, I owe you forever. How can I say what to you? Which part? All of it?
It's like they're giving each other going away vows or something.
Come here, butthead.
It's just a lot of, I don't know, silly.
I don't know if I'm like happy or sad right now.
It's hard. It's hard. You make these connections and then it's like you feel like you're getting ready to go back into a fight because it must feel like you're on vacation and then you're going in to see your ex and like it feels like now you have to really do the hard work. I feel like this is the easier part of the experiment in a sense.
I got a glimpse of like what my life could be.
Who can say that in 3 weeks they could have an experience with someone like this? And it's like even more rare. It's like
I just want to, as somebody who's experimented a lot in her life, as somebody who has created intimacy through play, through BDSM, through drugs, through all this stuff, make sure you understand that though it is significant and it can be, it doesn't mean it has to be forever. It doesn't mean it needs to be more significant than it is for the moment in your life you're experiencing it. I think sometimes people think like Dana and Mel, like this means we're meant to be together, right? The universe brought us together. Yes, I feel like that is an okay thought. But also, it doesn't mean you have to be together just because the universe brought you together, right? Like, depending on what your framework is, I just don't want people to get caught up in it and thinking, oh my God, this is so good. It's like, maybe, but also.
Just like a glimpse of something that I always wanted.
I think that's important. It's a glimpse of something you've always wanted. It doesn't mean it's exactly what you've always wanted. Okay, it sounds like they're having a pretty good conversation about not choosing each other like Mel and Dana are doing, but instead recognizing that this has given me an opportunity to learn more about myself and given me a glimpse of what could be.
And it's just important. Like, I didn't realize how important it is to, make decisions for yourself because, like, you can't actually have the things that you want.
Ooh, yes, Megan. Yes, you can actually have the things you want. As long as your why is good and as long as it coincides with your joy, you can have the life you want. But you can't have the life you want if you're always chasing people pleasing, if you're always avoiding, if you're always traumatized, if you're always unhealed, if you're always living, you have for the wrong reasons. You have to live for the right reasons. That's why I focus on wholesomeness so much. There's like a realness that you need to attain in order to have a realness to your life. Otherwise, you're always just playing into like the structures that be or the family dynamics. Like, look at Megan putting her life on hold for her family. I get it. Me too, girl. But at the same time, as somebody who always goes between being hyper independent, which is not always great because, trauma, but also the right amount of independent, grateful for her community. But, it's difficult because you want to do right by the people you love. And sometimes the people you love are bigoted. So I get it. It's hard. But when you really start to prioritize your values and your joy, you really start to tell people with love and not hate or anger, I love you. I'm open with boundaries. I'm not going to tolerate this, but I love you and I wish you the best. But I'm going to also go pursue my best. Because you know what's funny? As we allow, example in this instance, homophobic parents, the right to live their best life in the denial of our own at the expense of ourselves. But God forbid we actually just go live our best life and the bigoted people have to deal with it. It's amazing how children, we put our happiness to the side or squish it down so our parents get to have their best life, a life where they don't have to contend with the reality that their kids are gay. They're saying I love you and there's a lot of affection there, but I don't know what the kind of I love you is. This feels much more wholesome and healthy than a Mel or a Dana. Mel and Dana feel like a toxic will they, won't they. They feel like love the way you lie energy. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. I said a little bit, okay? But this feels different. This feels like two people who are really learning about each other. And I think because Megan and Haley feel so much healthier to me, they're having like a really, maybe a good, like a really profound experience. Haley said, I love you. And then Megan went, I love you. Holy shit. But I'm not getting the impression Haley's saying, I love you, I want to be with you. I think they're trying to say, I love you as a consciousness, right? Guys, correct me in the chat. What do you get from this scene? Haley's not going to choose Megan over Pilar, is she? I mean, maybe. It's just the way Netflix is filming it, the music, the intimacy. Are we watching two people fall in love for real? Versus, no offense, I don't think Mel and Dana are like actually in love. I think they're toxically, not codependent, because that's not the right word, but they're toxically bonding. But are they telling us a story with this narration that they're like actually falling in love?
I just didn't expect this.
Oh.
I just feel like we've like seen each other in like ways that like neither of us have felt seen. And it just feels like things will never be the same.
Okay, girl, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they are in love. Honestly, I'm team Megan and Haley. I am. I hope they fall in love and get married and have kids. Not literally, but like maybe.
It's like one of the first times in my life
to feel understood.
I really like them together. I do. I like them together.
I'm like the chick from The Notebook, where I'm one person when I'm with you and I'm one person when I'm with you.
Ooh, fun fact, because I was reviewing the Notebook scenes for my latest podcast. Not only is that the most toxic fucking relationship in hindsight, but they were literally like cheating and abusing each other physically and emotionally. Isn't it funny how we romanticize the fuck out of that? Also, that book series is written by a man who allegedly is very racist. So we should recontextualize why we thought this toxic love story was the greatest of all time.
Mel has promised me things beyond what Megan has promised me. You know, Haley's got her claws in Megan, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
Wow, Haley has her claws in Megan. Girl, Dana, get over it.
My trial marriage was amazing. Truly, I couldn't ask for a better wife, a better partner, a better person.
I know you weren't each other's first choice.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, because I am the eternal optimist, I was like, this just could be meant to be.
Exactly.
It truly was.
I also feel like positive qualities that I see in Brittany that I don't necessarily see in my ex is that I don't have to ask for certain romantic antics.
Oh, but you did ask. Wait, pause. So Brittany gushed. Everyone was like, I'm glad it worked out. Marita said the difference is my ex, I don't have to ask from Brittany, but you did ask. You specifically made sure Brittany knew ahead of time, I need this. And Brittany said, okay, I'll do it. The difference is that Ashley was unable to give you something you asked for. And that's the difference. Is like you did ask Brittany though. You explicitly specified I need romantic gestures. So I don't like this narrative of like I didn't have to ask. You did. You demanded. You said this is a requirement. So I think that's a little bit just like I'm not to be, you know, but like
Look, there was boundaries, and that was the boundary. No oxtails to be made.
Wait, actually?
Yes.
Wait, what? Wait. Marita said she cooked oxtail for me last night, and AJ said, wait, what? And then AJ said, that's a boundary. You're not supposed to cook oxtail for somebody else. And then they said, that's a boundary. And then they laughed. And then Marita goes, no, wait, really? And she goes, yes. And now I'm like actually confused. Is that actually a boundary? Is there a joke here?
There's leftovers. I can see Brittany just giving her everything that she says I don't. Brittany and I talked about it at the group night out, and she was like, it's so easy for me to do all these like romantic gestures for Marita. And I was like, why is it hard for me, but it's so easy for this girl?
It might be because you're autistic. It might be hard because you don't like doing it. This is something that should be talked about and can be worked out. Even if it doesn't come naturally to you, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think this is the reason your relationship isn't going to work out, right? Like Marita saying, oh, this is the only thing that was missing. Impossible. I refuse to engage in a reality where like a love language difference is the end all be all of your relationship versus like an ability to show up for one another in a way that makes sense. I feel like it has to be more than just, oh, you weren't romantic for me. You know what I mean?
She just meant to do it, you know? So I think they'd be a great couple, honestly.
Damn, Ashley said you can have her, Brittany. She said you can have Marita.
Okay.
I actually think based on the edit, that's kind of fair because Brittany was able to compliment Marita without bringing up her ex, but Marita couldn't compliment Brittany without shitting on Ashley. So it's a little petty. It's not the greatest, but maybe Ashley's like, you're not even fighting for me right now.
Bridget, I think you're a catch 100%. Like, number one, you're beautiful. And it's really how much you have made me feel like seen and heard.
Sometimes I can't tell if the girls are over complimenting each other to kind of get back at their ex, to be honest. But I think they did vibe while they were together.
I always feel considered with you. Like you literally come and check in before you leave to go somewhere for a long time.
Okay, so Bridget just brought up that Ashley does check in with her before she disappears on her versus Kyle wasn't trained to do that growing up. But see, if my partner had a habit from their childhood, I would be very understanding about it. And I'd say, okay, that's so valid. Let's form new rituals together. That if I know my partner was trained as a kid to do a certain thing, like, I'm trying to think of good examples, like, my family, we had dinner with each other every night. My partner, not so much with their family. So, you know, we found like a compromise in that. We always make sure to have like one focused meal together because our schedules are opposite and because I usually like wake up earlier than them, or maybe they sleep in, or maybe because our schedules are so off, we don't always get to have breakfast together, or we always make sure we have one focused meal together. That's our meal time, right? That's like a compromise in allowing us to have our own schedules and do what we want because unlike other couples, we also don't have the same sleep schedule, which I know for some people is weird, but for us, we just want to be able to do what we want. So if I stay up late editing, or if they go to sleep early, or if you know what I mean? Our families didn't grow up the same. Honestly, my parents had different sleep schedules too. So I'm not actually that far off from the way that I was raised in that sense, because my mom always woke up earlier than my dad did. Everyone's different. You know, everyone has a different sleep schedule. Everyone operates differently. But I think for some people, they have this idea of what their life will look like. And it's just best to make the relationship work for you instead of trying to make it you know, be something that it isn't in a way that works for both of you. I don't know. I think people sometimes try so hard to make life something it was never supposed to be. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm ranting, but you know what I mean?
I just have enjoyed like every moment with you, and I'm just gonna miss being around you daily, so it's gonna suck.
Do you have any advice for Marita and Ashley as they come back together?
It's important to acknowledge your own faults in order for you guys to have a healthy relationship, understand each other's feelings better, and like, I do think you need to work on a few things.
The host was being messy, and as Bridget, she had advice for Marita and Ashley, so that was a little awkward.
I understand that you've gotten to know Ashley, and I do obviously adore and love Ashley. She's my person, and we have a lot to work on, but you also don't know how our relationship has gone.
Well, Ashley is kind of sharing though. Uh-oh.
I think that's everyone here though. I think we can't sit here and
But
we
she
don't know,
is.
like,
She's prejudging how I feel.
I get it, but that's we're all probably doing that.
Ooh, that was a messy question from the host.
This dress is not that secure for me to have to break up anything, so we are gonna move on.
We had a moment where, you know, things are hard and everything's like emotionally intense. And I think we came out stronger than ever after that, just like communicating, talking, and getting down to like the root of things.
I'm so grateful for you for like sticking with me through the hard times and like helping me work through my emotions. I really appreciate how understanding you are and like mature through conflict. You'll have so much time with Haley to work through things, and if it's meant to be, I'm rooting for you guys.
Okay, that was nice. So Kyle basically just said, I'm rooting for your happiness and your joy, whether that is with me or with Haley, but I'm rooting for your joy. Okay, that's important.
I know you guys have had great growth, but then, you know, I see you post like stories of like, sometimes you want to disappear, but all you want to do is be found. I feel like I can read between the lines and what, you're going to retreat in someone else and be seen.
Whoa, I don't even know what's happening. Where did this come from? She's saying, I've seen posts. Are they talking about Instagram? Are they posting on Instagram?
I don't know.
You're going to talk about stories when you posted Kyle with heart eyes and then you blocked.
And then you blocked me? What is happening?
Blocked me?
What?
I didn't know about
Just
that.
curious. Is that the story?
Wait, are they on social media? I thought they were supposed to be cold turkey. I thought when Love is Blind or Ultimatum does their shows, I thought you're not supposed to be on social media. What?
I can post a quote and that's the reaction, but I'm blocked.
And there's not something more to you guys?
Oh, we're very authentic. We'll tell you everything you want to know.
I don't know why I'm so shocked. Why am I so shocked? I'm a little shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm wide awake. Oh, and of course they're ending right there. Okay, I'm a little shocked at that exchange. I'm curious what the next episode will be. Really curious about your guys' thoughts for this one. Wow, that post on social media got that kind of reaction. Wait till everybody finds out about the matching tattoos. Okay, guys, with that said, thank you for watching. Please like, leave a comment. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Share this with somebody else watching the series, and I will see you for the next one. Bye-bye.